you hear that? That's the sound of the Saturn, and it's back. Anyway, I don't know why I just snapped my fingers. That felt so homosexual. It wasn't even funny. Anyway, yeah, guys. So the Saturn is back. What was wrong with it was, first of all, this camera angle. But no, what was wrong with it was the stupid. Oh God, what is that rattling? What the crap? That's better. Anyway, so basically what was wrong with it was the stinking starter. God, that thing was terrible. Like, son of a... Stop! Freaking thing. Anyway, so the starter went out on it, and I was hoping it wasn't the starter. I got up one day and went to go to work, and it was like 8 in the morning, you know. I know I was on day shift for a while, and then I went back to night shift. Anyway, so I went up, I got up, started to go to work, turned my key over, and I always turn my key halfway, and then I always turn my key halfway, and let the computer set, set up and everything. You'll turn the key halfway and you'll hear it click, just like something like I can't really explain it, just like a subtle tap. Basically, that's just your computer turning on and acknowledging that it's being turned on, and then it's ready to go. It's on standby. And then once you get past that halfway point and you hear that subtle click, you turn it on all the way, and then, boom. Basically, if you don't do that, you're cold starting your computer and you're cold starting your engine. Because if I didn't do that, if I didn't turn it halfway and then let it sit and click, and then I turn it on all the way, I would just be turning my key on and holding it, and it would just be going, the engine would keep trying to turn over, and that's what burns up a lot of the engines and starters, because people just sit there and let it run and run and run and run. That's why I don't like the automatic starts, and that's why I don't like people that sit there and cold start their car. I don't think a lot of people realize that you have to sit there and turn it on halfway, wait for a minute, wait for that computer to kick in, and then turn it, all the way. Anyway, so like I said, I got up that morning and I turned my key on halfway, and then I waited, and then I turned it on the rest of the way, and I just heard one solid click. Now, this wasn't the computer click. It's basically like your battery's dead. If you guys have ever, had a dead battery and you try to start your car, it's kind of like that. Like, it wasn't even trying to turn over. It was just one solid click. It was a pretty predominant click. Anyway, so I was like, well, crap. So I was like, maybe my battery's dead. But I'm thinking, well, why are my lights coming on, my dash lights, and my radio, or my head, windows are going up and down, and my windshield wipers are working the same speed. Because a lot of people don't know this. If your battery is weak, you may be able to turn on, your ignition. Like, you'd maybe be able to turn the key halfway and, use your stuff, like your windows and stuff like that. But try using your windshield wipers, and they'll be noticeably slower. Anyway, so I found that out. But anyway, so I'm like, well, no, the windshield wipers are going the same speed, as always. And I was like, well, that's just, it can't be the battery. And I'm getting just everything else, my headlights and everything. Anyway, so I had a guy come out from a towing company, because I was like, well, maybe it just needs a jump, and I'm hoping it's the battery, but I don't know. So I was like, well, I'll just take a risk, and I'll get the towing company out here, and we'll see if it needs a jump. Needless to say, he came out here and said, no, your battery's fine, it's your starter, and your starter's dead. And I was like, oh, crap. So he's like, well, let me see if I can get up under there. So he jacked it up, and he got up under there and was tapping the starter with a hammer or something as I was trying to start it, because sometimes that will jolt them into place to where they'll start. Anyway, so we tried that, and that wasn't working. So we went ahead and, you know, we went on, and we were like, well, you know, we don't really know what to do now. So we said, yeah, it's your starter, man. So I was like, well, okay. So I went ahead, and I said, well, I just cut my losses, and I said, I'll go down to get the starter, you know, whenever I have a chance. So I ended up going to get the starter the other day, and some ramps and stuff to push the car up on. And so we got it up on the ramps last night, and we were good to go. You know, we got the starter out. I tell you, man, if somebody ever tells you to replace the starter on a vehicle, oh my gosh, charge them money, because these things are a pain in the butt. On the Mustangs, on the like the 04 to 06 models, you know, I think it's predominantly like the 04, maybe 02. Anyway, so it's the early 2000 models Mustangs. They are a pain in the butt. There's a hole like this. It's probably maybe a little bigger than that, just big enough for a starter. And sometimes it's not even big enough, depending on what year model you have. And, you know, you try to get your starter through there, because a buddy of mine, he, well, I can't say a buddy, a guy I knew from a long time ago, he tried replacing his in his Mustang, and he said he had to go get it looked at because he couldn't do it. The hole's too small. So, anyway, yeah, no, this thing is a pain in the butt. It wasn't that bad. I got it done in like 3 hours with help, but it still sucked, you know. Yeah, so I got her done. It's just, I tell you, man, I almost took it down there and had it done. Almost. The starter would have cost me like $100, $120, and the service would have cost me $100 just for the labor to do it. And I'm like, man, that just sucks. I was like, well, I'll hold off on that, and I'll go buy the starter myself, and, you know, I'll just do it myself. Because my dad's pretty knowledgeable about cars, so he came down to spend a couple days with us, and we got to working on that yesterday, and we went ahead and did it. It was fine. It only took about 3 hours, and yeah, so I mean, it was a lot cheaper in the long run, but at the same time, you know, it was just. And then we stripped a bolt. I don't know if you guys have ever stripped a bolt, but it sucks. Especially on the starter. Man, let me tell you, I sit there and I was turning this bolt, and well, whenever I first got it off, okay, I'm upside down. I'm not the most, you know, how would you say it, oriental conscious person. And so I'm upside down under a car, and so the lefty-loosey, righty-tighty thing, you know, I'm not even thinking about that. Like, I know you had to loosen the bolt, but I'm trying to figure out which way the bolt needs to go, and I turn the damn thing right, you know, clockwise, like tightening it, and the freaking thing needs to turn left. And next thing I know, I'm turning the bolt, and I'm like, it's not coming off. So my dad said, what way are you going with it? And I said, left. And he said, no. Or no. I said, I'm going clockwise. And he said, no, that's for tightening. I thought it was the opposite since I was upside down. He said, no, it's actually the same, depending on what bolt you're trying to take out. But he said, go ahead and, just do it the other way, and hopefully you didn't strip that bolt. And I'm thinking, well, crap. Long story short, I did end up stripping it, but we got some Loctite and took the bolt out after we got the new starter in, put the top bolt on, put the bottom bolt on, which it was still stripped. So we went down to Walmart and got some Loctite and took that bolt out, sprayed the crap out of it, sprayed the crap out of the inside of the hole where the threads are, and, you know, it wasn't a problem. But anyway, so I'm going to get out of here, guys. I've got to go inside the auto parts store, return the starter so I can get some money back for the core. But I just wanted to let you guys know what had happened. So anyway, you guys take it easy, and you have a good day. We'll see you later. Oh, and don't die, because dying's bad for your health.